Welcome everybody to We Love Sports. We are at the college football round where we continue off from HBCU. And of course, we will be combining them. So let's see how everything is happening here in the world of sports. I think a lot of people are saying to themselves, this is exactly how I feel the seasons are going, and this is exactly how I feel the seasons are not going. Of 13. And then we're talking about week 9 as well. Tennessee Martin faced off with Tennessee. Great game, but the blowout was there, 65-24, and that was coming for the victor for Tennessee. Then you would have Iowa and Ohio State. Ohio State would dominate 54-10. Boston College takes on Wake Forest. Wake Forest would pull up 43-15. Mississippi, LSU. LSU was like sending you back home with an L, 45-20. Memphis and Tulane 38, Memphis 28. A lot of 10s in there of the variations across the world of sports for college. So I found that pretty interesting as well. Texas A&M would face off with the Carolina Gamecocks, dominate, another win for the Gamecocks, 30-24. Kansas State would face off with TCU. TCU would take that one, another 10 mark there, 28-38. Clemson, nice game there with Syracuse. 27 would be the victor for Clemson, and Syracuse could only come up with 21. That was the final. Cincinnati and SMU. SMU would fall to Cincinnati, 29-27. Texas and Oklahoma State, 41-34. Oklahoma State would reign victor with that one over Texas. UCLA face off with Oregon. Nice game there. 45 would be the victor for Oregon. UCLA 30. MF State 6-2. Alabama 30-6, and that was the final score. Then you had Minnesota face off with Penn State. Penn State 45 and Minnesota 17. All right, so let's take a look at the matchups for week 9. It's going to be Virginia Tech facing off with North Carolina State. The game will start on Thursday. Notre Dame and Syracuse, TCU and West Virginia, Cincinnati UCF, Wake Forest faces off with Louisville. Then you have Illinois facing off with Nebraska, Kentucky facing off with Tennessee, Michigan State facing off with Michigan. That's going to be a really good game. And then Pittsburgh faces off with UNC, Stanford, UCLA, Mississippi face off with Texas A&M, and then you have USC face off with Arizona, South Carolina, USC faces off with Missouri, Florida and Georgia. That's going to be a good game there with the Gators, okay, and the Georgia Bulldogs, and then California faces off with Oregon, and then you have Kansas State face off with Ohio State will face off with Penn State, and Utah with Washington. These are the games to look for. So let's go back and take a look at some of these games here. In week 8. And since that was a pretty close game there, Clemson and Syracuse, that was a final. Yesterday we're going to take a nice deep dive into the stats here. All right. So you got Syracuse 6-1, Clemson 8-0. Feeling pretty good right there. And we're going to go to the stats. Matching them up, team stats. For total yards, 291 for Syracuse, 450 for the Tigers. And passing yards, 167, Syracuse, 157 for the Tigers. Rushing yards, 124 to 293. So you can see the dominance right there, as well as with the total yards. But of course, Syracuse had a better passing game, with passing yards, I should say, over Clemson. And then yards per play was 5.4 for Syracuse and 5.3 for Clemson. First downs, Clemson 27 to Syracuse 17. Third down efficiencies, 3 of 11 for Syracuse, 5 of 15 for Clemson. Fourth down efficiencies, 0 of 1 for Syracuse and 2 of 3 for Clemson. Total plays, 54 for Syracuse and 85. Glaring difference right there for Clemson. And with the punt, 7 punts for Syracuse and 2 for Clemson. Penalties, 10 of 88 for Syracuse and 6 of 50 for the Tigers. In fumbles, 2 fumbles for the Tigers. Interceptions, 1 interception for Syracuse, 2 for the Tigers. Total time possession of the ball. This is what I love to look at when it comes to stats. 26 minutes and 6 seconds for Syracuse and 33 of 54 for the Tigers. So, Clemson did their thing. Let's go take a look at another game here. It was a great day in Carolina, if you think about it. You had Allen University winning, you had South Carolina State winning, you had the Gamecocks winning, you had Benedict winning, you had Clemson winning. So Carolina South was definitely on fire right there. So I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, so let's take a look at another game here. Texas A&M and the Gamecocks. Take a look at the team stats. Right now, Carolina's 5-2, and Texas A&M Aggies, they have 3-4. Total yards for Texas A&M would be 398, dominating a little bit more to Carolina's 286, and in passing yards, 269 for Texas A&M, 168 for Carolina. They also dominated in rushing yards, 129 to Carolina's 118, and in yards per play, still more edge for Texas A&M. Okay, so pretty much was like the sway of just how everything's, because they had 5.3 yards per play and Carolina 4.8. All right, so then when you start looking at the first downs, 23 first downs for Texas A&M. Everything is just kind of like going their way here. But not behind them is the Gamecocks with 13. Third down efficiencies, 8 of 16 for the Gamecocks and 5 of 14 for Texas A&M. Fourth down efficiencies, 0-1 for the Gamecocks and 0-1 evenly matched for the Aggies. Total plays, 75 for Texas A&M. 60 for the Gamecocks. Punts, both evenly matched at 6. Then in penalties, 8 of 38 for Texas and 6 of 62 for the Gamecocks. Interceptions, no interceptions for the Gamecocks. 1 for the Texas A&M, and that could have been part of the daggers that happened. And then time possession of the ball, 33 minutes, more time for Texas A&M, 33 minutes, 8 seconds, and 26:52 for the Gamecocks. So I thought that was interesting indeed. Woo! Okay. Let's see. I want to look at another game. Let's look at another game. Okay, let's go with UCLA and Oregon. That was 30-45. Okay, the Oregon Ducks facing off with the UCLA Bruins. The Ducks are 6-1, and so are the Bruins. So let's take a look at this game and these stats here. Total yards, 448. UCLA will be starting first, and Oregon, 545. Passing yards, 262 to 283. Rushing yards, 186 to a nice 262 there by Oregon. Yards per play, 6.5, 7.4. First downs, 26 for UCLA, 31 for Oregon. Third down efficiencies, 6 of 12. 6 of 12, evenly matched there. 2 of 3. 3 of 3 for the fourth down efficiencies. Total plays, 69 for UCLA and 74 for Oregon. Punts, 1 punt for Oregon. Penalties, 6 of 65 for the Bruins and 8 of 50 for the Oregon Ducks. No fumbles lost, no interceptions. Well, one interception thrown there from UCLA Bruins. Time possession of the ball, more minutes there for Oregon. 33-26, nice smart playing. 26 minutes and 34 seconds for the Bruins. So there you have it. So let me call these next games here. Virginia Tech will face off with the Wolfpack. And this is going to be a nice face-to-face here with that game. So a lot of people are going to be looking at that one as well. I mean, we'll look at all of them, but you know, there's some games that's just going to have all eyes on it. I think a lot of these underdog teams are like really close games. Everybody's getting into the clinch of now throwing the daggers. So you can start to look for that now, trying to disassemble some vibes here. Then when you start looking at the Heisman Trophy talk, as we talked about with Shedeur Sanders for HBCU, is that a thing that we should look forward to, or is that just talk to see about him getting in? But of course you have people who say, where's the proof of playing some big contending teams, and do we want to change the language of that? Do we want to change the action process of that? And so we'll just see how it goes. But there are several top contenders that are happening here for the Heisman Trophy odds. And then we'll have a definite conversation about that as well. Okay, so we have some contenders here. Nothing has been set in full stone. But we got TCU's quarterback, Max Duggan. Taking a look at his stats. Drake May, quarterback for North Carolina Tar Heels. Sam Hartman, quarterback for Wake Forest. Spencer Sanders, quarterback for Oklahoma State. Jahmyr Gibbs, running back, Alabama Crimson Tide. Stetson Bennett, quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs. Bo Nix, Oregon, quarterback. Bryce Young, quarterback, Alabama Crimson Tide. Blake Corum, running back, Michigan. Caleb Williams, quarterback, USC Trojans. Hendon Hooker, quarterback, Tennessee Volunteers. C.J. Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State Buckeyes. And many people are having their conversations, and so it's a great place to put your conversations and your POVs for what you feel. And also there is still the interview there for Jackson State and the HBCU quarterback Shadir Sanders sat down with Michael Strahan, and interesting conversations. So we just have to see how things will go in the future, see how things will go for the now, and just go from there. All right, so I left you in the last video talking about the wonderful world of the kaolin and putting on those things. And so I'm going to have a nice almond joy here with my great skull cup full of goodness. Actually, definitely staying hydrated, even with the temperatures cooling down. It's just good to stay good and hydrated as well. Okay. Love the almond jars. If you're worried about some Halloween candy, worry. I tried some cotton candy. It was apple flavored. It was horrendous. And I am a cotton candy lover. So it was a no for me. It was a no dog. And I was just like, we're not participating in Halloween because I would be a trick-or-treater and give them that because everybody's taste buds is different. It was a no. It was horrendous. Never again. And nothing made it better. Not even pure water. Trying to eat it. I got 2 bags. I tossed the other one. I have one more. I hate to waste in the climate of high food prices and inflation, but it was horrendous. So it's a no-go. I wouldn't even try it. So if you hold on, I'll let you see it. Horrendous. Fluffy stuff, spiderweb cotton candy, sour apple. I should have known, but I thought it was gonna be like sweet. But I mean, it's and not just because of the sour. It's just very, very horrendous. So I love the regular cotton candy. It's so much better. But yeah, this fluffy stuff, sour apple, unless you just really have a craving for like sour apple, then I guess it's really your jam. But this is not my jam. Alright everybody, so come on back. Now here's another candy that I have here. Now this is good. And this is the Now Later's Jelly Beans. Okay, it has apple, cherry, strawberry, watermelon, grape, banana. Now, this is good. But that over there is not. So, everybody, stay locked in with me as we come on back. And I know I've been obliterated with the NFL. So, we're going to talk about that. But before we do that, we're also going to be talking about homecoming. Okay, the upcoming HBCU homecomings. So stay locked in for that, and more to come. Peace and love, everybody.